When the young survivors meet new individuals in the wilderness, one of the most surprising story twists in Yellowjackets is revealed. Prior to this game-changing ending, the Yellowjackets' past history was dominated by Coach Ben Scott's continual misery. Lottie Matthews and the majority of the other teens insist on Coach Ben's survival, following the vision Akila had toward the end of Yellowjackets Season 3, Episode 5, which leads them to believe that he is the bridge to their home. Natalie Scatorcio is unable to bear Coach Ben's ongoing pain, which only worsens as he begs for death. Natalie eventually takes matters into her own hands, killing Coach Ben. Shauna Shipman and the rest of the group punish Natalie for destroying their hopes by making her slice up his body and prepare a feast. During the feast, the survivors eat before yelling and dancing, only to be disturbed by fresh members of the Yellowjackets cast. Nelson Franklin and Ashley Sutton star as the new characters, a man and a woman. They approach the survivors with anxious expressions. The man lifts his hand and says, "Hello." He immediately leaps back and shouts out, "What the fuck?" when he finds Coach Ben's severed head, which has been set aside during the feast, while the remainder of his body is served and consumed by the juvenile survivors. With barely a few seconds of screen time, little is known about the new characters' identities or why they are in the wilderness. Their appearance and clothing do not indicate that they have been stuck for a long period. Instead, they appear to have just been in the bush for a short time and have not had to resort to severe survival tactics. This is backed up by the man's frightened reaction to Coach Ben's head. The new characters may have gone camping or hiking in the wilderness, only to become lost and encounter this clan of cannibalistic teenagers. When Lottie screams, the woods responds with a bizarre and scary shrieking noise. Lottie believes that screaming, singing, and dancing help her bond with the nature. However, for many of the other survivors, it is an opportunity to express the emotions they have been suppressing. The gang has developed a sort of normalcy under Natalie's leadership, yet they continue to be consumed by rage, grief, frustration, and misery. Lottie's ritual becomes a time to express all of her emotions, especially after the traumatic incident with Coach Ben. In the present day, Van Palmer is searching for information regarding DT cassettes on her phone when Tysa Turner abruptly bolts upright. Ty sounds like she's struggling for oxygen as she shouts, "Van! Please, you've got to help me." Her body relaxes, and she calmly wonders why Van is still awake, as if she hadn't just cried out for aid seconds before. This disturbing image reveals that other Ty has almost completely taken control of her, but the regular Ty managed to break away for a little while to seek Van's assistance. Misty Quigley encounters one of Lottie's former cult members, Lisa, earlier in the episode. Lisa informs Misty that Ty and Lottie met outside a cafe the day she died. In Yellowjackets Season 3, Episode 4, Ty and Van split ways for 1 hour before reuniting in the city. After learning of Lottie's death in Episode 5, Van asks Ty where she went during that period, and Ty denies meeting with Lottie. Assuming Lisa gave Misty the truth, Ty met Lottie and lied to Van about it. Earlier in Episode 4, Ty calls Lottie to address her statement about the wilderness being delighted by Natalie's, Juliette Lewis, sacrifice at the end of Yellowjackets Season 2. Ty did not receive much of a response before Lottie hung up the phone. She may have gone to meet with Lottie to receive a more definitive response. Ty had already demonstrated her willingness to let others die if it means Van may live longer in the wilderness, and she may have wanted to check if Lottie shared her belief. If other Ty was already in charge, it's probable she went to meet Lottie with the aim of killing her. Other Ty may have considered killing Lottie as a necessary sacrifice in order to save Van. Another scenario is that normal Ty went to meet with Lottie, things heated up, and she accidentally killed her. Since then, other Ty may have taken over as a coping mechanism for her to deal with the horror of her actions. Regardless of the facts, Misty's investigation will now focus on Ty as Yellowjackets Season 3 begins. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.